I actually have to be careful that I don't push too hard on the corruption stuff, because it's going to get me.
In this video, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk discuss about the current situation in eliminating corruption. Stay tuned, as Elon will soon reveal all the dangers of telling the truth. But first, Joe talks about the trap of having two parties.
The real trap in this country is a two-party system. That's the real trap, because people do believe it. They do believe they're on the right side, and they do believe the other side's the wrong side. If there was 5, 6 legitimate parties with varying positions on things, and much more centrist parties that were legitimate, that people knew that if they voted for, these people could get in and enact legitimate change, we would be a lot better off. But boy, they put a lockdown on that shit right after Ross Perot came along.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's it. From now on, no one's debating unless you're either the head of that party or that's it.
Yeah.
You got to be like locked into the system.
Is democracy really about choice, or is it just an illusion? Joe argues that the system is designed to keep real competition out, making sure power stays within the same hands, election after election.
They're using the fact they've got you in a tribe to manipulate you so that they can keep doing what they're doing right now, which is siphoning off money, having incredible power. And the more power and more money and more control over you they have, the better they can keep doing this. And that's what they want.
What if the entire system is designed to limit success? Elon sees the world as one that can only be changed by rewriting the rules completely.
We're disturbing
the nest.
The nest, yeah.
Yeah.
We're kicking the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Like big time. We're reprogramming the matrix. Like success was never one of the possible outcomes. If you're in the matrix, success was never possible. The only way to achieve success is to reprogram the matrix such that success is one of the possible outcomes. That's what we're doing. We may or may not succeed.
When real change happens, the system fights back. Joe describes a world where power resists disruption, and the more things change, the louder the system pushes back.
Nothing changes when administrations come into power. Very little changes. I mean, you have changes in terms of policy, and inflation goes up, and there's a lot of different things, but not like this. Like, these are giant fundamental changes. And you see the system screeching and wailing, and you see the vampires run from the light. But it's very exciting.
Money talks, and in politics, it speaks the loudest. Elon highlights a system where wealth grows in ways that defy logic. This raises the question, is corruption just part of the job?
How do people in Congress or whatever become wealthy over time?
Extremely wealthy.
Yes.
On a $170,000 a year salary.
It's like literally impossible.
Yeah. No one else does that.
It's literally impossible.
If you find out this guy has a $170,000 a year job, you're like, oh, he's doing okay. He's all right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a minute, why does he have $50 million?
Yes.
What is he doing?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think like the more accurate thing would be to say like, what is the family value increase? Meaning like, how much does their spouse earn? Do they have a mysteriously wealthy spouse?
Right. And do they have a spouse that's really good at insider trading?
Yeah.
Like Paul Pelosi.
Really good.
Elon proposed a solution. Either remove financial incentives completely or pay politicians so much that corruption isn't worth the risk. But would that actually change anything?
I think maybe we should either pay politicians nothing or maybe a lot more. It's like somewhat maybe counterintuitively, if politicians got paid a lot more, then they wouldn't feel like that there's so much of a forcing function for them to accept corrupt money.
Yeah, but the problem is if you paid them a lot more, they're still not going to make as much money as they would insider trading.
Elon isn't just theorizing, he's living it. Exposing corruption at this level doesn't just bring criticism, it can put a target on your back.
Like the insider trading stuff, like the stock portfolio stuff is quite trackable, but it's a lot more than insider trading.
The way they're acquiring wealth.
Correct.
And what other methods?
I mean, this is really going to get me. It's like I'm not lengthening my lifespan by explaining this stuff. I mean, I was supposed to go back to DC. How am I going to survive? This is going to kill me for sure.
When the flow of money and influence is threatened, the stakes become dangerously high. Those in power will do whatever it takes to protect their interests, even if it means turning against those who challenge the system.
If you say like somebody's got some kids in DC and like expensive place to live, the schools are terrible, so like they need to send their kids to like some kind of private schooling situation. They literally cannot afford that. So I actually have to be careful that I don't push too hard on the corruption stuff, because it's going to get me killed. If I push too hard on the corruption stuff, people get desperate is the issue.
Right.
Then they say like, okay, if the money flow cuts off, then okay, they can't afford school for their kids.
Right.
Then they're gonna like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna keep you for my kids.